January 27th. That was fun. Can I get this off yet? No, I don't even have enough strength to get this off. Thought I had some scissors here somewhere. While in the hospital, I lost something like 20 pounds. They weighed me when I first got there. I was 181 pounds. And when I got back home, I got weighed again. I was like 150, 58. These first 2 days, they didn't feed me there because I was NPO, whatever the hell that means. If you're a nurse, you probably know what NPO means. No food or drink. So for the first 2 nights, I didn't get anything to eat or drink. So that was all great. Okay, where do I begin the story at? Let's see. No matter how many times you have to do this, it still feels weird as hell. Yes, it does. So anyway, I got nothing better to do because I'm on bed rest. They even give me my own goddamn... Yeah, you're... Shut up. Give me my own goddamn hospital bed. If I knew how to use it. There it goes. Whee! I won't use it anymore. It doesn't sound like it's working right. Yeah. Had the fun pleasure of spending 3 weeks in a hospital, which I'm going to tell you about when I get this all done and over with. As you can see, they got me all nice and rigged up here with all sorts of attachments and my medicine, and which needs to be changed. And hopefully by the end of this week I can actually do something. So they expect all this to come off by March 2nd. That's debatable, because I developed a blood infection in my blood. I think I said that right. I should have said infection in my blood, but I said blood first. Okay, next step. So much for this arm, because this arm doesn't have anything on it. It's just that it's right here on my chest. Okay, that's tight. Hello. Ew. There we go. So for the first 2 nights, I didn't get anything to eat or drink. So that was all great. Okay, where do I begin the story at? Let's see how much time you have. 'Cause you barely weigh over 5 pounds. You got 15 minutes. You gotta sum this up in less than that. So I know I got a lot of people asking me what the hell happened. So this is all this is going to be about, is what the hell actually happened, my story, so you could just watch it on YouTube and I don't have to talk about it every time I see somebody that knew something happened, and I don't have to explain it 15 times. At least I hope not. I still got all nice sorts of nice looking hookups and junk all over. So the morning of the 26th, we had a meeting at the farm. Went to the meeting. Got a little discomfort over here on the left side. So, meeting went for 2 hours, and it got worse and worse. So, meeting ended. I had to come back into work at 5 in the afternoon. The meeting ending at 10 in the morning. So, on my way home, this pain gradually got worse, and then I started having problems breathing. Well, no sooner did I come through the front door, I'm on the floor in the house, in this very room, before the bed. So, at that point, I was gasping for air. I had 2 numbers to call. Luckily, one of them came through because the third number was going to be 911, because there was no way I'm getting off that floor at the rate I was breathing. So I got rushed over to the Plasco Medical Center, and they rushed me right in as an emergency patient. First thing doctor did was check with a stethoscope, I guess. I don't know what the hell those things are called. Like I said, I don't know half of what happened. I'm just telling you what happened. He checked me with this little ear thing, and he goes, And my mom was with me at the time. She had just shown up. And he's like, well, you got to get to a hospital. We could do this one of 2 ways. I can call an ambulance here, or your mom can take you. Should have took the ambulance. Because needless that I know, that sitting up in the car just made it worse. Assuming if I was laying flat down. So I ended up going to the hospital. Doctor called ahead from the medical center to the hospital. This is Upstate Hospital. And I guess they were waiting for me to get there. Because the second I got this on, they rushed me right over into the emergency department there. And another nurse comes over and listens. And she goes, as well. And walks out. They hooked me up with the EKG machine. And another So she walks out, 2 more people come in, put me on a stretcher, put me in a gurney, I guess it's called, put me in the hallway, and threw an oxygen mask on. That oxygen gets pretty good after a while. So after 10 minutes of that, they come over and they have this machine that, they do your vitals and stuff. They put the BP cuff over your arm, and they do the blood pressure, and then you got the little thing that hooks to your... Well, needless to say, they made the mistake, and I could see the numbers on that thing, and after it got done, I was running a blood pressure. Needless to say, I don't have high blood pressure. My blood pressure was 161 over 120, my pulse was running 112, and my SpO2 was 87. 80s are not good with that. Well, no wonder why I can't breathe. So, they finally get a room open and stick me in a room. I'm in this room for probably, out of the duration that I can remember, 3 hours. During those 3 hours, I had an x-ray done. And I guess the x-ray didn't see all that needed to be seen. It showed ammonia in the left lung, starting to go over into the right. So, the doctor come in, look at the x-ray, and they're like, oh, something's not right. So they ordered a CT scan. That's when I started having serious problems. I was fine with the machine and laying flat, but the second I laid flat, I had an attack, a breathing attack. I could not catch my breath. That freaked the nurses out. So, the second I laid flat, I could not catch my breath. I almost passed out on that. So finally they got me all good and going again, and they ran me through the CT machine. And then they noticed that I had filled up the whole entire lung cavity between the lung and the wall. And filled it completely up, and there's something on the bottom they could not figure out. It was like a thickness on the bottom. So needless to say, they doped me up with stuff, and I woke up, I'm guessing, on the 5th floor with a doctor doing blood gas. Those are fun too. I still got the mark from that. Right here. You can't see it. It's a little red dot. To those who need to know what a blood gas is, luckily these doctors explain everything they're doing to you, because they had to take this long ass needle and stick it into the artery. Not the vein, the artery, deep in your arm. That's fun when you got this nice little needle poking through your damn nerves and muscle. Yep, that was fun. So he does his thing and goes away, and another doctor comes in. She's like, okay, we're gonna try to do something. Like I said, I'm doped up at this point because they had me on something strong because I was in a lot of pain. So she comes in, explains a procedure to me. She's got this long needle with the biggest opening, and she has to stick it through the back. I'm like, oh good, this is going to be fun too. Great. Torture. That's all hospitals are, torture. So she rolls me over to my side, sticks the needle in. She, of course, doped me up with some painkillers, so the needle wasn't that bad, surprisingly. So she wanted to get what was in there, some of what it. She wanted to get it into the needle and do a culture on it to see what exactly the fluid is. She put that needle in and pulled back. Nothing came out. It's so fucking thick that you got the biggest needle in a syringe and nothing's coming out. And she's like, okay. So she goes away and she comes back a little later. I don't know, it could have been hours. And like I said, I don't know time because I was out of it. So she's like, you have to go for surgery. Great, surgery. Thoracic surgery, this is a technical term. Yeah, thoracic. That sounds fun too. So, we're just waiting for surgery. Surgery's tomorrow morning. So, couldn't eat or drink anything yet. I was already there for 24 hours. So, surgery time, I guess. Starts at 12:15. I was in the surgery room and, all I knew was I was going to get holes in my side. So they had to put tubes in to suck the stuff out. And then they had to put a little camera in there and poke around with that to see what they can do with the buildup on the bottom of my lung. Which, by the way, is collapsed. Did I mention that? My lung collapsed. Okay. They classified me as critical. You got your fair, good, serious, critical. I was in critical condition. That's what they classified me as. So, found out that with my mom being there because I was out of it. So, went through surgery. Starts 12:15. They had me in a room. This is before all this got put on. They had IVs in me. They poked me so many goddamn times. It looks like I have a track record. I'm not kidding. They mostly healed because I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, so you can't see them, but you can barely make them out. Especially the one that went to the damn nerve. So, doctor came in, injected me with something out like a light. As far as I knew, I was getting 3 tubes put in my chest. Yeah. I woke up the next morning. At 10 o'clock. The surgery lasted a long time, for 4 hours. Because the clock was in my room right over my head. So I woke up to consciousness, but I couldn't move my body. Thank God, because I had tubes down my throat. I'm going to bring that picture up now because somebody was there and took a picture of it. We won't mention names. I actually saved it. So, this is what I looked like when just before I woke up, because I took it before I got there, but there's me with the tubes in my mouth. Yeah, I was on a fucking breathing machine. They had to blow that lung back up. Luckily, I was still in critical care, and there was a nurse around. She seen me looking around. I guess she made a phone call to a doctor saying that I was awake. I guess for some reason they can't take the tubes out when I'm sleeping. They have to make sure you can remember every living minute of it. So, next thing you know, the doctor's there, and he's like, does the listening thing. He's like, okay, we're going to take these out. That was awful, too. So, that was said and done. And then they moved me to another floor. The pain was so bad they had me on a drip of some, I think they said lidocaine, something to do with the pain killing. And I had a little button that every 7 minutes I could push that button and it'll inject me with some kind of painkiller so I wouldn't feel it. They had to split my not split them, they had to move my ribs around to get these tubes in, because they're big tubes. You'll find that out in a short minute here. I'll show you the scars. So just fair warning, and you're gonna see some gory healing scars on my side. So they had to move my ribs apart. That's why I'm on bed rest. So that was fun. And then finally, a week later, they finally hooked me up with all this stuff here. This is a PICC line. Goes right into the artery or somewhere close to it, and so I could do this all myself. Yay. That's the only reason why I'm home now, doing this all myself. Else I'll probably still be in the hospital. It's an experience. Of course they want you to get rest, but doctors and nurses and everybody else comes in every 2 hours to check on you and do blood cultures. By the time I left there, my blood pressure got a little concerning low to the nurses, because the last 3 days there, they're like, do you usually have blood pressure this low? I looked up the monitor there, and it's like 80 something over 50 something. They're like, you feel dizzy at all? No, I feel perfectly fine. Okay, scar time. Back here. I gotta bring this along every time. You can see where they had one tube go in. You can see what the surgery was. And you can see where they had to put the other tube in to drain the fluid out. Yeah, that's the tube. That's the spot where they had to get in there and spread my ribs apart. Still bruised all the hell. So that's my fun trip. And somehow my nipple got bruised up. How the hell that happened? So that was fun. Luckily I didn't feel anything though. I get a nice little void going around the side of me. So that's that. Oh yeah. This, because of the fluid in my lung, well, not in my lung, but along my lung, had been there so, all they did to tell me is that it's been there so long, it's been there a while. They can't tell me exactly what it was or what they found out in the blood cultures, or, you know, they just tell me, oh, it's been in there a while. Has it been in there 2 months, a year? I don't know. But the fluid got infected, and then that's how I got into my bloodstream. And that's why I have to wear this, because it's cleaning it out with amoxicillin or something like that. What's this stuff? They had me on a amoxicillin infused 2 milligrams IV 1 hour every 4 hours, blah blah blah. So I gotta carry this. And March 2nd is my doctor's appointment, and by then, well, I got one coming up Friday in 3 days, and by March 2nd they plan on having this off, depending on what my blood looks like when they get it back. So that's it. And I'm done talking now, because you're out of tape anyway. So that's my fun enjoyment at the hospital. There's all my medicine I have to take. Yep. Yay. So, I'm all jacked up. Anyhow, that's my story. I keep saying that, then I remember something I have to talk about later. This is my new bedroom. It used to be the dining room. Yeah, at one point somebody thought of a good idea of getting a walker in here and something. I had a cane. I had to use a cane for a couple days to get in and out of my mom's car, because I don't like cars because they're too low to the ground, and I can't pull myself because I can't do anything more than 5 pounds. As demonstrated at the beginning of the tape. I mean, I could easily get out of that, but that's shot to hell. The engine went up in that when I was gone. I found out because I started it the other day and moved it forward, and all it did is so